I want to show you how some of the right wing are responding to this, because man, they're trying hard. They are. Nobody lately has been a better turd polisher than Peanut Butter Dickhead, and you'll see. Look, well, first of all, let's look at the title: "Controlling the Narrative." The Atlantic's signal chat. Just that alone. The Atlantic's signal chat exposes, in all caps, Trump's war strategy against the Houthis. So the premise here would be that the Atlantic set up this signal chat to give away secret information on Trump's war strategy against the Houthis, which, by the way, war strategy means these were war plans. At least we agree on that, you fuckhead. War strategy, there it is. Controlling the narrative, in quotes. And again, who is? Well, check this out.
Dollars.
By the way, you're watching How Sparks Mega Worldwide. Like, subscribe, share the show, etc., etc. Hi, maggots. Having a good day?
To different folks, okay? Different donations. But watch this one here. The Atlantic. Here's a story to the right. This is an article called The Great Fake Child Sex Trafficking Epidemic.
Oh, wait, hold on. That's the beginning.
This is the...
That's later in it. He gets to this later. That was we'll start at the beginning.
Officials text war plans to a group chat on a secure app that includes a journalist, which is kind of weird, right? This is a...
Yeah, it's kind of weird. It's weird. Sorry, and how did you say it?
This is the Trump officials text war plans to a group chat on a secure app that includes a journalist, which is kind of...
A secure app. Is it, though? That includes a journalist. They just included it. It you know, when you download the app, it has a journalist already on it.
Right? This is a story that comes out yesterday, and they were all over the place talking about this. I'll read this to you, and Rob, let's play a couple clips. Top Trump officials, including Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth, Vice President J.D. Vance, Marco Rubio, and National Security Advisor Mike Waltz texted warp.
Dude's foot is jumping under the desk. Did you notice that? Like he's doing that highly caffeinated bounce. This is not a story they want to cover.
Plans for Yemen strikes to a signal group that accidentally included Jeffrey Goldberg, editor-in-chief of The Atlantic. Goldberg reported...
Yeah, they slipped and fell, and like they bumped phones, and it was like a chocolate and peanut butter kind of a mix. And all of a sudden, you know, two great tastes taste great together.
Contained operational details of forthcoming strikes on Iran-backed Houthis rebel in Yemen, including information about targets, weapons the U.S. would be deploying. The attack sequencing, the National Security Council confirmed, appears to be authentic, and Trump initially said, I don't know anything about it.
Because that's leadership.
Telling me about it for the first time before joking via Elon Musk post 4D chess genius Trump leaks war plans to the Atlantic where no one will ever see them.
Yeah, that's hilarious. Everyone has seen them. And as a matter of fact, if you were trying to make the Atlantic less important, the idea that you would leak them to the Atlantic and not give them a boost is fucking weird. Like it's I guess that would be the 3D chess.
Revealed by The Atlantic on Monday sparked outrage. The Senate Democratic leader Chuck Schumer calling it one of the most stunning breaches of military intelligence I've ever read about in a very long time. Okay, Rob, let's go through a couple of these clips. So here's the president in the Roosevelt room. Go for it, Rob.
Yeah, show us this. This is the part where he's like a true leader confronted by a real crisis, and this is like a master class in how you handle it.
The story in The Atlantic that said that some of your top cabinet officials and aides had been discussing very sensitive material through Signal and included an Atlantic reporter for that. What is your response to that?
I don't know anything about it. I'm not a big fan of The Atlantic. To me, it's a magazine that's going out of business. I think it's not much of a magazine, but I know
it sure is fucking now. I'm glad I have a subscription.
Nothing about it. You're saying that they had what?
They were using Signal to coordinate on sensitive materials and
having to do with what? Having to do with what? What were they talking about?
With the Houthis.
The Houthis? You mean the attack on the Houthis? Well, it couldn't have been very effective because the attack was very effective. I can tell you that. I don't know anything about it. You're telling me about it for the first time. Anybody else?
Just blows it off.
What else you got? You got one response from Hexet as well?
I do. This is Pete Hegseth getting off a plane where he
he attacks the messenger because that's what strength is all about.
asked about the signal leak.
Go for it.
Exactly what we're doing as we speak from the beginning, overwhelmingly.
Why were those details shared on Signal, and how did you learn that a journalist was privy to the targets, the types of weapons used?
I've heard I was characterized. Nobody was texting war plans, and that's all I have to say about that. Thank you.
Yeah, you were. And by the way, if you want to say because we're not technically at war with Yemen or with the Houthis, so they were just battle plans, like you fucking weasel, that's not how you dance around that shit. If any Democrat talked about something like this that way, these assholes would be jumping through their shirt collars.
That's it.
Tom, thoughts?
Tom, thoughts? Who's this? Is this the guy who's going to defend it?
I think number one.
Yeah, okay. So this guy has got the administration's back. I need you to know this. He's the guy who will intentionally either play dumb patriot or he's not playing dumb, but he is playing patriot. You'll see.
That everybody's pointing to Mike Waltz.
Because Mike Waltz invited Jeff Goldblum into it. I don't think this would be. I'm in the chat. No, I don't want to be in the chat.
And that Mike Waltz.
It's not good to be in the chat.
Apparently sent a text out, and it included a journalist.
He did not send a text out, and it did not include a journalist because he texted some people. He sent an invite to a private Signal group, and Jeffrey Goldberg was allowed in it the whole time, and he exited himself when he realized it was real.
And the journalists doing what they're doing, they don't go through
in doing what they're doing.
Back channels to say, hey, is this secret? Should we protect the United States? Should we protect what's going on? That's not what the journalist does. The journalist does.
No, journalists don't do that. They go, oh, my dear God, of course I've been added to a fucking private Signal group by Mike Waltz. That happens all the time. You did it again, Mikey.
Hey, let's attack the administration. And they're.
Yeah, that's not what he did at all. Also, why would he? What's worth attacking the administration about this? You end up in a fucking. You get a text. What's the big deal?
It's a newsworthy item. If somebody kind of blew it and included a journalist on here,
kind of blew it.
That's not good. But let's face it, it was a Signal communication. It wasn't like 22 megabytes of documents. And
you don't know that. You don't. He might have posted files in that Signal group for people to read. You don't know yet. Most of the stuff he just seemed to have cut and paste text from other shit into there about the war plans and what they were actually going to do. How much Signal, by the way, how many megabytes would the redcoats are coming would have taken up? How much would that have taken up? How many megabytes of information would the Japanese are going to attack Pearl Harbor tomorrow morning? How much would that have taken up, that message? How much information, and what would knowing that piece of information have done? Would you need 24 megabytes? Would you need a schematic about it actually happening?
Yes. The Houthis didn't get it in time to duck, so because the attack happened
yeah, he didn't. That's because he didn't give it to them. He didn't pass it on. He chose not to. He chose to have more discretion in disseminating that information than Pete Hegseth did in the Signal group. Dum-dum.
Most accounts that we're hearing, it was fairly effective on its targets, but it is,
fairly.
It's a careless thing. And I don't think there's a person out there that's not sent a business email where you go to type a name in Outlook and it finishes the name for you. And
no one's ever done that here.
No, never.
Yeah, it happens all the time, especially where our soldiers could get shot out of the fucking sky. How about this? How about, whoops. Whoa, look at this. What's happening? Silver alert activated by the California Highway Patrol. It's an old guy last seen in Sherman Oaks. All right, I'll keep an eye out for Jose. But poor guy. I think we've got a wandering old person.
And it's like the wrong mic.
And by the way, I love that they're joking about this shit. Like it's just fucking nothing. We don't even do this about the Hillary email shit. We directly address what was actually in those fucking things and how it's actually, none of it was classified. None of it actually was, it was like her schedule when she was flying in and out of someplace, but none of it involved fucking battle plans. Stuff that was shared out, quite frankly, with the White House pool of reporters so they'd know where to meet her. That was the level of it. But we didn't even joke about it in those regards. So the hashtag butter emails was a call to arms and a calling of these assholes out. But but Hegseth signals.
Mike Jones, Mike Jeffries instead of Mike Jones.
Mike Jones. Mike Jones with the Porsche, right?
Yeah.
Isn't the Mike Jones?
No, you know what I mean. You
Mike Lowry. I'm sorry.
Mike Lowry.
Exactly.
A lot of pop culture references.
I think
Mike Jones. I want to know you can't clone.
That's kind of careless, but
Kinda.
Mike Waltz is a good man. He's a strong guy. He's a right guy.
No, he isn't. No, he isn't. No, he's not.
Can I read you something that may upset you a little bit? Because this story, Daily Mail, says National Security Advisor Mike Waltz firing after inviting the Atlantic Editor-in-Chief Jeffrey Goldberg to a Signal chat. Okay, Houthis PC small group discussing Yemen strikes with Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth and J.D. Vance, a White House insider told Politico. Everyone in the White House can agree on one thing. Mike Waltz is an effing idiot. Okay, this is what Politico, this is the story.
Well, this is also Daily Mail, and there's no name on that.
I totally get it. So I'm just reading this.
Yeah, so it definitely didn't happen because it's not like Mike Waltz has done anything really fucked up in the last 48 hours. Like invite a reporter from the Atlantic to join a private signal group where they discuss battle plans.
You on what's being said.
Like, what are the qualifications for being a fucking idiot in the White House if that ain't it?
While a senior official said half of them saying he's never going to survive or shouldn't, noting it was reckless not to check who was on the threat, it was reckless to having a conversation on Signal, et cetera, et cetera. And then at the same time, there's another one from Daily Mail that comes out saying J.D. Vance says, team, I'm out of the day doing economic events in Michigan, but I think we are making a terrible mistake. We're making a mistake to a Trump team, including National Security Mike Waltz. And then it continues, he warned, there's real risk that the public doesn't understand this or why it is necessary. I'm not sure the president is aware how inconsistent this is with the message on Europe right now, et cetera, et cetera. And so Vance expressed his reluctance but compliance, saying, I'm willing to support the consensus.
Again, I don't know if this is the first time these assholes are seeing it or they're pretending that this is the first time that they've seen this stuff because it might have come in while they were doing the show. Because I covered part of it yesterday as it started to break. There's still no excuse in this, and one of the things that you see, one of the defenses you see from a lot of these folks right now on the right is, I'm glad that look how much deliberation. Right? Look how much they're thinking about this and working on things. And I'm so happy there are these thoughtful conversations happening amongst this crowd, right? That, the vice president and others.
Of the team, and keep these concerns to myself, but there's strong argument for delaying this for a month, doing this messaging, work on why this matters, seeing where the economy is, et cetera, et cetera. And then Hegseth urged action, replying, we are prepared to execute. And if I have a final go or no vote, I believe we should. Mike Waltz noted, per the president's request, we are working with DOD and state of to determine how to compile the costs associated and levy them on Europeans. All right, so that's what Daily Mail is saying, what happened here.
Can I ask you a quick question?
Yeah.
So if somebody on your staff was to say, hey...
Somebody on your staff endangered the lives of other members of your staff and could have gotten them killed by like they're driving across town late night, and you knew that there was a criminal gang in this one particular area, and if they knew your car was coming, they could do a bump and grab or shoot at you and stuff, and you just included somebody, the local town gossip in on your private conversation that might lead to that happening. How would you just let it slide? The answer is yes. This is bullshit. These analogies are so fucking lame.
I'm not sure about this. I've got a little bit different point of view here, but whatever you decide, I'm with you.
Yeah.
Do you want that or you want silence?
No,
hold on. That's not the option. The option isn't like we can either talk on Signal or not at all. Is not a fucking thing. Fuck you, dude. This is so weak. It's so lame. Good Lord. How are you not fucking... I mean, again, maybe this dude agreed of the group that he would be the one to throw himself on the fucking grenade in this situation by saying the absolute dumbest shit on the panel so they can look like they're balanced and everybody's pushing back on it. But we shall see.
That was a point. It's so funny you were saying this. You see, a businessman would think that way. I love that. I actually love the fact that there's an exchange. I love the fact...
Why the fuck is it happening on Signal, dumb fuck? That's like saying, I think a great that a boardroom can, like if a board in your your company's worried about a brand new product. You got a brand new product launch. Here you go, peanut butter dickhead. Figure this out. You got a brand new product your company's coming out with, and you're very excited about it. It's the new Coke, and you've got a whole new recipe and all this kind of stuff, and you're discussing, and some people are saying, discussing when it should be done, if it should be done at all, and there's this whole back and forth, and the minutes of that, you just throw them out the fucking window after the end of the meeting so that your competitor, whose office is right across the street, can look at them if they stumble across them. Are you out of your fucking mind? You think this has to do with whether or not you have a discussion at all? It's about the public disclosure and the fucking lazy, weak, excuse-ridden, pathetic attempt to cover for the fact that they fucked up. Hexeth is a fuck up. Waltz is a fuck up. They both fucked up. And it would be one thing if they weren't, both of them, and Peanut Butter Dickhead and his crew are the same way about this, if they weren't such, like, macho alpha men bullshitters. I mean,
there's like, hey, what do you think about this? What do you think about that? It's very normal for us.
Yeah, it's normal to have a conversation. So why shouldn't we just, how about this? Why do you even have a situation room? Why don't they just do it on the lawn? Good Lord. What the fuck are you talking about? Why do we even have skiffs? Wouldn't you feel much better if you knew the conversations? If you're dealing with how to stop the next 9/11, we should have a big fucking why don't they just take it on the road and do a town hall tour and explain our battle plans? And I think a lot of people are very confused about how you stop a cyber attack on our infrastructure. Maybe they should just go around to the worst parts of the country that have the most, the weakened infrastructure points that could be attacked the most. Power grids, nuclear power plants, fucking NORAD's base, and all these kinds of, and just stand outside and go, this place is security as ass. We should start working on that tomorrow. What the fuck is wrong with you? Fuck.
Nothing about the threat I'm reading says to me that this shows to me that they're willing to have discourse, debate, exchange.
Yeah, do you see the part where... Oh, hold on. Son of a bitch. This is going to be so aggravating. Let's see. Berg, text, signal. Yeah. One moment, please. Here you go. All right, let's scroll down. See if I can show you the... Yeah, there we go. There's the question. This would be the... Here's the part. Where is it? Find the part where it's. It's the Atlantic article. Marco Rubio wrote, Mike Needham for state apparently designing designating the current counselor of the State Department as his representative in the chat. Signal user identified as J.D. Vance wrote, Andy Baker for VP. 1 minute after TG, presumably Tulsi Gabbard, Director of National Intelligence, somebody masquerading as her, wrote Joe Kent for DNI. 9 minutes later, Scott B., apparently Treasury Secretary. That's why he thought this was bullshit. Stayed on it for a couple days. Then it turned out to be real. If you think we should do it, let's go. I just hate bailing Europe out again. Let's make sure our messaging is tight here. And if there's things we can do up front to minimize risk to Saudi oil facilities, we should do it. I love the fact that J.D. Vance is so concerned about Saudi oil facilities. His biggest thing is spiking the cost of gas. This is the green light when it's going to happen. There's the after it happened. This is how he knew. See, I want to show you the one where it was. Let's see if I can do. Whoops, images. I want to see. Let's see there. Trump administration's signal blunder. Jeff Goldberg. Okay, this is just the part that they showed. They have another piece that shows the parts that he gelled out, so you couldn't read it. I'm trying to find those for you. 1 second. Go back. Fucking Instagram, you crazy shit. Maybe it'd be redacted. Yeah, I don't see it right here. Okay, this might be the Axios one. Yeah. White House. This is fun too. White House defiant after messaging fiasco with the Atlantic. There you go. This is the thing. Principals Committee, Goldman, these are the Trump officials. These are who were on that they knew of. And then there were other people. Reality check that Trump instinctively resists giving adversaries a win behind the scenes. Goldberg said he had very strong doubts it was real. Hegseth bashed Goldberg, which is what weak people do. They scheduled to testify. We saw that. Both then face questions at House until tomorrow, so we'll get to see that. Whee! That'll be fun. Excerpts from the chat. Let's see. 4 takeaways from the guy. White House confirms 4 takeaways. 1, mind-boggling security breach. I agree. Vance as the voice of dissent, mainly about money. They can't stand the Europeans, which is true. They call it pathetic. What to watch? Congress erupted at the news of the leak. Anyways, so this is. I'll find one of those. I'll find them for tomorrow because I know they exist out there. If anybody, I don't have the Discord on this computer. Just so you know. Let's see. Discord. Let me see. I don't know if you guys have seen that. So go away. Thank you. Oh, kitties. What's happening? Staff chat. Yeah, I'll find it for tomorrow. But there's already a section that Goldberg has released since that has redacted pieces that of stuff that he knows is not for public consumption.
So maybe it was on. So because think about it, devil's advocate. Maybe it was on purpose. It doesn't make.
Yeah, it's 5D chess. It doesn't make sense. These people couldn't be idiots.
Why is Mike
Doesn't
Walls?
sound like they work for a dictator.
Weird. And that's what me and Jake were talking about. Maybe that was the whole ploy, is to have something like this leak. By the way, why is Mike Walls messaging anybody from the Atlantic? Why is he even
right?
The Goldberg guy? Why is he even in your chat? And why would you?
Yeah, it's a great question for Mike Walls, who did not show up for the hearing.
Add him in there. There's no other Goldberg whatever that's in the White House that would be involved in this situation anyway. So maybe it was a way to show, like, hey, listen, look what we're doing behind closed doors. Yeah, we messed up, and it could be maybe they want to get rid. What's it?
Yeah, they did it on purpose. That's why they did it through him and not Maggie fucking Haberman or somebody who's like always giving them the benefit of the doubt.
Guy's name, Tom, the Mike Walls.
Yeah,
it looks to me like if you wanted to fire somebody, guess what's a good way to get his ass fired? Have something like this happen and then leak it.
It was the wrong guy to be aiming at. I think.
Have something. So sorry, Hegseth wants to get Waltz fired. That's why he dropped classified documents or classified intel before a military strike that involves our soldiers over enemy positions where they could have been shot out of the fucking sky. He did that so he could get Mike Waltz fired because he's playing 5D chess. God damn, these guys are stupid. But this is, by the way, this level of copium is fucking everywhere. We normally check in on Glenn Beck, and I have no doubt he'll have, I don't know, maybe he's on vacation on purpose. Like he checked out as soon as this shit happened.
Guy's really capable. He was an early, confirmation, and he's
Very
really
quick.
strong in position. Gorka's on his team. So, yeah.
Oh, no wonder. Okay, this makes sense. Now I know why he's, how he fucked up this bad. This makes total sense now.
So I think there.
Gorka!
The other thing is, it's not unusual. How many media people do you have your
To be loved by anyone.
phone? I am on my phone.
Yeah, true. But I mean, in a
by the way-
signal like this, though, this is serious.
That's bad. Well, but there's also another angle to it. If I'm
Yeah, here's the angle. You shouldn't be using your private phone to discuss war plans anyways. And so the fact that it autofills from your fucking regular phone to people that aren't in the military or aren't in there, and you're not using a specific device now that you're in the goddamn White House, that would be the other thing. That would be, how about why the fuck are your contacts bumped over from that and include reporters from all over the fucking place?
if I'm a cabinet member, I only want to communicate with the media on a secure channel. I don't want to risk that it gets sniffed on a Gmail or anything like that.
Let's see what.
What? No. If you're talking to other people in the White House, that would be true. If you're talking to the media, just talk to the fucking media. They're going to print it, right? What do you mean? If you're an anonymous source, you don't want to be found out? So basically, you're saying Mike Waltz is an anonymous source. Fuck, man. The cleanup on aisle 666 over here. Jesus. Sorry. It popped out. I don't know why.
Foreign affairs expert has to say. Adam, your thoughts on this?
Well, yeah, I was actually also on that text chat, and I saw.
Okay, by the way, this is their attempt to joke it away. It's just nothing. It's so nothing. We're just joking about it. It's just fucking hilarious. Y'all are fucking hilarious. Where are the Epstein files? Enjoy your afternoon.
Coming a mile away. So, one of your major words that you're using these days is signal over noise.
Bad time to use that phrase. Asshole.
This happened on Signal, ironically. To me,
I don't know that's that wouldn't be ironically. That would be poetically. Because the idea is you want more signal than noise, and it happened on Signal. And it's not noise because it actually happened. This is real life, dipshit. Real life where our pilots could have been killed.
this is a lot of noise. The signal.
No, it's not. Noise is not based in reality. It's abstract. It fills the space and doesn't actually lead anywhere. Asshole.
We know who the enemy is. We're going after the Houthis, part of the Iran proxies out there. And
that's the word you were looking for.
this was an accident by apparently a capable guy. And
Yeah, apparently an accident by a capable guy, a guy who's capable of having massive accidents.
He screwed up. Let's call a spade here. If this were the Biden administration and they accidentally texted Fox News, you don't think the right would be having a field
Well, sure. Yeah, excellent point.
day with the morons in the DEI woke administration? You guys can't even do this. The reality is what Trump said is correct. Well, we carried out the attack. We know who the enemy is.
Sorry, if they texted this Fox reporter and the Fox reporter didn't post what had happened on a strike on something, and then the Biden administration came out and go, well, Sean Hannity didn't talk about it because, before the attack. So what's the big fucking deal? You'd have been okay with that? Well, I mean, let's not make it Sean Hannity. Greg Kelly.
Islamic extremists, Houthis, that are basically, there's been a war in Yemen for over a decade, proxy war between Iran-backed Houthis and Saudi-backed Yemen government. And we know who at least we're solving for. But you know what's funny? Another one of your words this year, Pat, correct me if I'm wrong, is speed.
That is not one of his words. That is it's the title of a Keanu Reeves movie, actually. It's pretty good. That's one of his words.
So
move fast, break things, act like a dipshit, bull in a china shop, fuck the kids. You can't make an omelet without breaking some eggs, even if those eggs are soldiers in airplanes over the aerial defenses that the Houthis have.
you wrote in your book, here's a little
You fucking suck up.
Preview
to the, if you're going to buy your
All right, I'm already bored. You get the point, though. These assholes just spend their afternoon trying to, cover, for Gabbard and all these dickheads. Now, this, ladies and gentlemen, if I may, and by the way, hi, chat room, like, subscribe, give a thumbs up, support the show. You're watching House Sparks Mega Worldwide, etc., etc., etc.